Hello and welcome to the Coaching Podcast, Coaching for Success in Sport and Business. Your host is Emma Doyle, the energy and high performance under pressure coach who is a world leader in unleashing human potential. Buckle up for this high octane session. Let them have it, coach.
Well, you're in for a real treat today. Our guest is Andrew Wynne. He's an executive coach and Vistage chair, bringing over 25 years of executive experience, industry insight, and human-centered coaching wisdom. We speak a lot about trust, how to listen with your eyes. He does reveal an awesome trust formula and helping us all be mirrors and reflect back with our coaching. As a Vistage chair of 3 groups, he continues to light up the room with curiosity, connection that are aligned with his core values of care and contribution. So he talks about presence and intimacy, the 2 switches that turn coaching on. So sit back, relax, and listen to what Andrew Wynne has to share on today's episode of the Coaching Podcast, which is sponsored by trysam.ai. Finding your perfect coach shouldn't feel like a guessing game. Meet Sam, the AI that matches you with a coach who truly gets you, understands your goals, your values, and your personality, all aligned. Discover your perfect match at trysam.ai. Well, g'day everybody. Welcome to the Coaching Podcast. Coach M here with Andrew Wynne. I had the opportunity to speak with his groups in Queensland, and I'm super excited to have him on the show. He's got a wealth of knowledge. And so, Andrew, welcome to the show. And the quote for you is, "The fear of losing is twice as powerful as the hope of winning." Thoughts?
I think I see it all the time in coaching. I think all of us fall prey in spending a lot of time catastrophizing about what might go wrong, how we might fail, how we might, feel that shame, that sting, rather than really focusing on, and what if I pulled this off? It lands immediately, and I don't think there's a client that I don't see it with.
And I think, would you say that even in business, I mean, this podcast is sport and business, right? In business, It's the fear of losing the deal or the opportunity if you don't make a certain decision. So talk to me about decision making. Let's go there first. How do you help the people that you work with around empowering decision making? What are your thoughts on that?
Often when I'm working with a client, there's a little metaphor I love to share with them that kind of relates to it's the piece that glues decision making you've just asked me around to this thought of losing, and that's the difference between playing to not to lose or playing to win. So what is it that you're doing right now that is not to lose? How are you being defensive? How are you not opening up? How are you not listening? How are you not challenging yourself to put yourself in the other person's shoes? As opposed to, how the hell can I meet this person, understand, and share with them, and how do we collaboratively talk about winning together? So that decision making around how am I going to show up? Who am I going to partner with? Who do we pair with? Another little thing too is what's the victory speech? If you manage to do this, if you made the right decisions, if you encourage that behavior, what's the victory speech that you'd start to think about now that would be the thing that sort of pulled you forward into making those decisions? So that's I think how often I'll connect with a client and work with them around what are the decisions that need to be made, because making decisions right now is probably one of the most important things. So much change. It's easy to sit around and thinking, let's not make a decision now because it's too difficult. And yet making decisions is often a definition of a leader. So,
and I love what you said around visualizing. What does success look like? It's another great question, isn't it? And I think that so many times we don't always allow ourselves, because we're busy, we're stuck in the weeds, that to see what does the future self look like? What does the vision of what it is that you want, rather than what it is that you don't want. So talk to me about, let's get a bit personal, if you don't mind, with you and your story. My listeners might have been able to pick up on the South African accent there as well. So could you talk to me about what was a decision that you made in your life that was really courageous, that's led you to be the awesome leader that you are today?
I think my wife would tell you a couple of stories where she's often sat and looked at me and said, what the hell? Born in Zambia, grew up in Zimbabwe, wanted to be an engineer, took on engineering, and 7 years into that career, I have this problem with what I call shiny object syndrome. It's, IT came along and I just thought, damn, I'm putting this down and I'm chasing IT. Managed to do it in a way where I sort of combined IT and engineering together. And then later in my life, after selling a couple of businesses, there was this shiny object of, I want to work with people, which is far departure from where I was. And stopped everything and went back to uni and studied coaching. And came home and said to my wife one day, okay, changing, start again, break it all down, start again. 50 years old, I'm going to be a new me. And around that time, we moved country from Africa to Australia as well. And I guess sometimes I'd look back at that and thought, damn, this was crazy. I don't know if I can do this. But looking back now, it's some of the best stuff I've done. So it's that just ability to trust and listen and chase what I think is passion and contribution. So those are probably some of the scary decisions I've had to sit and face, and fortunately I've come away pretty unscathed. It's really blessed.
At every turning point or sliding doors moment, again, this is theme already around sort of just do it, isn't it? Like, make that decision and back yourself and just go for it. At what point, belief versus, when you say to someone, I believe in you, versus I know you can do this, it's almost like that leap of faith between those two comments. How do you let your people know that you believe in them? What are some of the coaching tools that you use or draw upon around belief?
Emma, I think it's really easy for us to be cheerleaders. You can do this, go on, you've got this. In coaching, I've found that is sometimes helpful and sometimes really not very helpful. What I've found and what I increasingly rely on is presence, just bringing a presence to a discussion and just holding a space, creating a really trusted, safe container where the person, the client, can just talk out what the hell's going on, what the truth really is, and then allowing them to find the space to speak their truth. Because as coaches, our clients have the answers within them. It's really tempting for us to tell them what those answers are, but those are our answers, not theirs. So for me, it's less about that cheerleading, you got this, more perhaps about just being a really good mirror and reflecting back what I'm hearing and seeing, what's really landing for me, and validating what I'm hearing and seeing. And sometimes that can be challenging. It's like, I don't sense you've got this. I'm not hearing you're confident, just reflecting back the truth. So they know, they feel seen and heard, and allowing them to come up with whatever it is. But again, there's that little cast back to that And if this is successful in a year's time, what's shifted? You know, or, the negative of that is if we don't attend to that, what's going to happen? What hasn't happened? What's the loss and what's the gain? And allowing them, the client, to come to a place of their own agency to make a decision, because it's not about us, it's about them. So
You talk about presence and intimacy as the two switches that turn coaching on. And the words that are coming up so far are trust, safe container, listening, contribute. Let's take a deeper dive into, now presence has come up. So my first question around presence is, especially leaders in the workplace, they're time poor, they're task heavy, going from one thing to the next. How does one get in state to have a coaching conversation? So it would be part one. And part two, intimacy. Now, Andrew, that sounds dangerous. Can we even use that word in coaching? So two-part question.
So let's attend to part one. How do we get ourselves in this place? By managing ourselves. All the leaders I work with, there isn't one of them that isn't carrying a lot of stuff. And I think the higher up we go in organizations, I talk about altitude sickness. The higher you go, the harder it gets, and the more you have to carry. And being able to manage your stuff and put that in a little space and show up and be present for others. As a coach, obviously, that's foundational. It's kind of table stakes. But I think as a leader, it's incredibly important. And the best leaders that I'm working with right now, seemingly endless capacity to be able to do this. And sometimes at their own detriment. Again, there comes a time when, how's this serving you now? You gotta balance that. But it's that ability to show up, listen really deeply, and I say listen with your ears, but listen with your eyes, listen with your whole being. You've probably seen the stats on 7% of what we hear is actually the words that are spoken to us. The rest is all the facial expression, the tone, the intonation, the body language. That bring yourself to a space where you listen. And I think when you listen, you talked about that rush that leaders, that there's so much to do. If you listen at that level, you can achieve a connection and understand actually what's going on in the shortest amount of time, rather than listening superficially and then just flapping about on the surface. So I guess that's the first thing for me, is that presence is to allow that person to feel that space. Your second question on intimacy, I thought that would be a bit of a clickbait when I stuck it out there. I came across an equation on trust. We talked about trust earlier. I was introduced to an equation by a dear friend and colleague of mine, Bernard DeSmit, a fantastic coach. Bernard introduced me to this beautiful piece of work by, I think it's David Meister. Trust is reliability plus credibility plus intimacy divided by self-orientation. And the reliability, credibility piece, well, that bang, easy, I get that. I was really stunned and sort of challenged, as you were, around what the hell's intimacy. So I went and spent a bit of time researching that. The etymology of the word intimacy, it comes from the Latin innermost. It's allowing a person to bring what's inside them, their thoughts, their feelings, and especially their doubts, into a conversation with you, but doing it in such a way that you've created a safety for that to happen. Oftentimes, as coach, we have to model, lead, but again, so you got to be so sensitive and balanced on that, because it's not about us. It's not about turning the story on us. It's about modeling it and then getting the hell out of the way to create that space. So that's what I see as intimacy. And it's that combination of presence and intimacy together that create a space where people show up and are vulnerable. And yeah, that's where real change comes from.
Mm. Well, what I like in that as well is when I'm coaching, I'm often listening for those value-based words, the things that are in conflict or, or they're congruent and they feel it really aligned with something that their heart is singing and the head is saying.
Yeah.
And you can only do that if you're present and you're listening with your eyes to the intimacy of the alignment. So good. So good. And thank you for that. I could almost write a book on how many formulas people have come up with on the coaching podcast in 200 episodes. There's been some gems, but I haven't had one on trust yet. So thank you for sharing that.
And the fun part for me is about 2 years ago, I undertook a values inventory. You and I, coaches, professional learning development junkies like us, we do a couple of 5 or 10 of these things a year. Undertook this assessment, and when I got my results back, number 1 value, sharing, listening, and trust, and number 2, intimacy. Just so affirming, when that came back, we were completely blown away. But then just allowed me to say, damn, I'm going to really lean in on this. Going to really spend some time understanding why, what is this? And so thankful for that, because that was a transformative, piece, moment, I guess, in my development.
Well, let's go a little bit deeper there in relation to, you have this gift, Andrew, the great connector. You're able to meet people, hear what's important to them, and then say, I think I know someone that I need to connect you with, and who knows where it might go. I think that is something that's, well, you tell me, is that innate in you, or is that something that you're leaning into, that value that you have, which connects beautifully to care? I believe one of your values, you genuinely care and want to help. You're so good at it. So I'm just sort of wondering, and also it's a great reminder this time of year, gratitude, giving back, contributing, not expecting anything in return. We are servant leaders as coaches. So I'm just wondering about, where that comes from within you, and also what can coaches do in this space, especially this when this episode will come out, will be the real Christmas time of year, the celebration time of year. What are your thoughts?
You asked if it was innate. Maybe. I don't know. Wouldn't know how to actually find that out, but it feels really natural, and it makes me feel, it brings joy to me. And again, interestingly, when I did that values inventory, there it was. I think there was 2. One was collaborative individualist, and I thought, cool, this is why I hang out on. So I've got my own practice, and I'm an individualist, but I can't be alone. I love the work I do with Vistage, the work I do with SMG. It just connects me with so many people, and they're all fantastic people. These are people that are learning, striving, trying, growing, the whole time. So that just puts me into my tribe. I think tribe's the thing. When I connect someone to someone else, to me, tribe is so important. There's an amazing African quote: "You want to go fast, go alone. You want to go far, go together." And that to me has always resonated deeply. So connecting people together, and you were fantastic. You did it to me. You connected me with Toby Jenkins, and I think I sent you a tweet a couple of weeks ago to say, yeah, there's Toby. He's down with me in one of my groups. Working with us in a partner retreat down at Byron for the weekend, and yeah, so that's that connector thing.
The other thing around that is, what are some of the ways that we could give back and celebrate, and just little things that you do as a coach? As you know, I give every Vistage chair a handwritten thank you card, and I connect with what they think makes a great Vistage speaker, and I thank them for that opportunity to deliver on what's important to them. And I think that's a key thing that I do that's unique to me. I don't know any other speakers that do that. Maybe, I'm sure there are. It's not that unique, right? A handwritten thank you card. It is one thing that AI hasn't just spat out, if that makes sense. So what are some of the ways that we can show appreciation?
I think as coaches, we can show appreciation with just our presence and our being, because I think when we really truly listen and hear someone, that's one of the greatest gifts we can give people. It's really, really, really uncommon in the world today. So just being the best we can be, I think, can be an amazing gift. I guess the second part of that for me is, I'm smiling because you made me think of my mum. My mum would have been 103 years old on October the 30th. That was her. We celebrated her birthday. Clearly, she's not with us anymore. But my mum had this frustrating saying, she said, that I didn't understand when I was a child. She said, "Cast your bread upon the water and it will come back buttered." I thought, if I cast my bread on the water, it just sinks and gets eaten by the fish. But more and more, I think as time goes by, I've started to realize that, slow down, connect two people together, give to them. It will come back in some shape or form. And as I've said that, I just heard the connection between the little trust equation: trust, reliability, credibility, plus intimacy, divided by self-orientation. If you're doing the work that we're doing because there's something in it for you, well, that's self-orientation, and that divides, it waters down your reliability, your credibility, and your intimacy. If you're doing it for them, it doesn't. Trust builds. We all know what happens with trust. It gets repaid in a shape and a form. So yeah, and I think last thing on that, I think all of us nowadays, it's so easy to operate out of a place of scarcity. We just hold on to everything, cling tightly. If I introduced M to somebody, well, she might get something out of it, and maybe I could have got something out of it, But I think if all of us are looking at everything in terms of everything is limited, the world's a poorer place. If we're looking at it from a place of abundance, and I'm not always good at this, I'll be honest, but I think maybe as I get a little bit older and calmer, I see it more. So yeah, going to Christmas, I think that's what it is. Hey, it's spending a lot, and it's not gifts always, not like the thing that's under the tree. It's again, it's love, care, attention, quick message. I think like you say, I think those things that's the gold.
Well, it's words of affirmation, its significance being that third human need. It's just a nice reminder, isn't it, that a word or two, and just it goes a long way, especially when people don't expect it and you don't expect anything in return.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go down the road of AI, and AI maybe coaching better than some coaches. Where's the future of coaching? What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, big question. Yeah, I'm increasingly using AI tools to help me process the amount of data and information that's coming at us all. But again, I think there's that human connection piece is at the moment really powerful. Being present and available and listening deeply. But I think it puts us all on notice. I'm just increasingly surprised how powerful coaching models and tools can be. But I think it's where I'm at the moment is embrace them and run with them. I'm an ADD baby, and I think learning to manage that has taught me the importance of just managing my energy and my CPU power, and allowing AI to do a lot of that muscle work, that grunt work, that get me a start on something has been really powerful for me. Do this grunt work, get this stuff out for me, give me a draft that I can use as a starting point, help me get a summary of the notes and the stuff I've taken over the past couple of interactions with somebody, and show me what I'm not hearing, show me what I'm not seeing, help me with that space, and then allow me to come in with my horsepower still intact, so I'm able to show up present instead of just like frazzled after 3 or 4 sessions with clients. So yeah, I'm desperately hoping that people went, well, but you must see it too. So many of my clients are that they're using me, and they're using a couple of chatbots. One of my clients has got 5 advisors. They've got their Stoic advisor, they've got this, they've got a board of advisors, and they've nominated who each of those advisors are. But fortunately, they're still talking to me so far. So yeah, you just got to be in. You got to be in and ready to learn and run with it. So
yeah, couldn't agree more. And back to almost where we started this episode, the future-based part is something that fortunately it's not there yet. It can't have you visualize the future around what it is that you do want, which I love that about coaching, being so future-based rather than just always analysing the past of what. And of course, if we keep doing what we've always done, we get what we've always got.
I don't know about where you see yourself in 10, 20 years time. There's something about wisdom for me. I more and more, I think I'm drawn to those people that have just got that gravitas and that wisdom that just sit quietly. I believe there's always going to be space for people like that in the world. And managing ourselves, sustainability. I guess this last 6 months for me, sustainability for leaders has been probably one of the things that's coming out for me the most. Everyone is just, AI is just making everything go faster. It's putting more pressure on leaders to keep up, to stay relevant. And sustainability, what am I going to say no to? What do I let go? What do I really focus on? And how do I end up showing up at home where I can run inside the house and pick my kids up and be present for them? And how do I look after myself? Because my sense at the moment is it's leaders are almost like sometimes they're like consumables. You could organizations can just suck these people in and spit them out. So
it's like the vision of the hamster wheel, isn't it?
Yeah,
you got to know when to get off. Yeah, that's for sure.
And then get back on again.
And get back on again.
Get off. Get back on again. Yeah, it's not just getting off.
Also, techniques around presence. I mean, I definitely had someone on my podcast that does like an 8-second presence exercise before every time that he coaches someone that I've adopted since interviewing that coach, right? So this is what the podcast is all about. How can we share? How can we give? And maybe this conversation between Andrew and I has triggered something for you. So Andrew, we are now going to go to our rapid rally. So I will give you a word and then you will complete the sentence. All right. So here we go. Accept.
Accept that you don't know everything. Accept. One of the most sort of grounding things. Just accept. There's a beautiful book on my bookshelf back there that's called Only Don't Know. And you can still learn. You talked about AI earlier. Accept we don't know and lean in.
Love it. Persevere.
Persevere. What comes up for me is persevere is one of those things. Just persevere. Just persevere. Persevere and rest. Persevere and rest. Resting is part of perseverance. From a sporting analogy, resting is training. It's not just about smashing out the reps. You got to rest. So persevere and rest.
And our last one is just be.
Once again, comes back to that stillness for me. Just be is resting in a space where you are content. You are enough. I am enough. I see this in so many of the clients I coach. When they realize that they are enough, they're doing. Michael Bungestanius has got that beautiful thing. You're great and you're doing fine. Well, sorry, I murdered it, I'm sure, but such a powerful, acceptance, just a gratitude exercise to do for yourself. So
yeah. Well, on that note, with lots of gratitude, I appreciate the opportunity to hold up the mirror as coaches, reflect back, validate, be present and intimate, listen with your eyes, and of course, continue to support your tribe. Andrew, can't wait to see you again somewhere in this world. I'm sure we will cross paths, but just a joy to have you on the Coaching Podcast. Thank you so much.
Emma, thank you. Looking forward to your return to these amazing shores in the coming weeks. And watch out, because I've got a couple of things planned, and I'm really looking forward to having you back up in Queensland, and looking forward to hearing about all the new topics you've added to your little repartee in the last year. So
yeah, well, keep
you.
growing, everybody. Keep listening, keep learning, and just be.
The Coaching Podcast is sponsored by Transition Coach for Athletes, a global coaching, mentoring, and US college sporting scholarship placement service. The service helps athletes navigate the often challenging world of choosing your best college fit while maximizing sports performance. Visit www.transitioncoachforathletes.com.
If you enjoyed this episode, please leave a rating review on your podcast listening device. And don't forget to tell a fellow coach about the show. The ball is in your court to take action and enjoy your